Hello everyone and welcome to another AOR PC GT3 Elite League race on Project Cars. It's Season 6, Round 5 of 8 at Imola, where we have 36 laps in store. Unfortunately, it is not going to be in the night like the picture would suggest, as you can see as I change to the track here. We have a lovely, nice sunny day here at the Imola circuit, and I am, as usual, Fizzy, I believe, and with me, a man who's having some technical issues with sound, I believe, but I hope he is ready to at least say hi. That is Yorkie065.
Hello. Yes, I can hear you. It's just issues with recording for, sound recording. So I can hear you guys and everything else perfectly fine. It's just, recording side of it is down, which is frustrating, but fine. We can continue.
That's good. And the man you are watching on the screen right now is a new driver to the league, Dr. Stones. He's coming over from the Xbox League. He's been driving the first 4 rounds of the season in the Xbox Elite League. But I can't remember the exact reason he came over, but I guess he had some issues with his Xbox or something that has led to him coming over to the PC League instead. And he's not the only new driver we have in the grid today. This man, currently sitting 10th in the qualifying session, Vernox, has also signed up to the league in the week that's just gone by and is making his debut in AOR here today. As you can see, he's driving the same liveried car as I believe that is Suomi and Charf, who is driving the same, and he has joined their team for this season, which is good. Unfortunately, though, we have a few drivers missing on the grid as per usual, and guess who's missing, lads? It's Kaki again! What a shock that is, but this time he actually had a reason. He was attending some kind of event in some other country. So I guess we can let him off, but yeah, it's quite unfortunate that he's now missing his 4th out of 5 races so far this season. So I have a tiny inkling, Yorkie, that Kaki won't be retaining this championship.
No, it's pretty much game over for him, I would have thought, considering we're now over the halfway point. So, basically Kaki is screwed, to put it in simple terms, if he's trying to, or planning to hold on to the championship for Season 6.
Yep, I'm pretty sure he's not planning to anymore by now, but let's see what we got going on. So, in terms of drivers not here, unfortunately, we are also missing Gibbs today. We're missing Peregronster, we're missing Sluxmic, we're missing Suomi as well, and Dindas, who still not attended a single race this season. But the teammate of Dindas and Kaki is Bam Nova, and look at him in qualifying at the moment. He's back in the garage with 2 minutes ago, so he's not going to improve on that time, but he's currently on pole position here at Imola with a lovely time of 1:39.3, 0.3 of a second faster than Mangator, who's taken all of the poles this season so far, if I'm not mistaken. I might very well be mistaken, but I feel like he has.
Majority of, I believe.
Yeah, at least the majority of, if not all. And he's currently sitting second, and he's not going to improve either, because he's also back in the garage. A man out on track, though, is the man in third right now. That is Papand, and you can see the whole scoreboard there. And make your own mind up of who's impressed and not impressed so far this session. Worth pointing out that Vernox, the new guy, has jumped himself up to 7th. Unless we look at Branders, he's got 8 seconds to try and get to the line, and he does get to the line. Can he move himself up from 10th position? Oh, he's done! Went across the line. I swear he went across the line there with 1 second to go, but it didn't improve anyway, so it didn't matter. Here we go then. Bam Nova is going to be on pole today, ahead of Mangator and Papand in 3rd, Charf in 4th, Jeff in 5th, Hideaki, Enzo, Vernox, the debutant, in 8th, Claessens and Branderus then follow. Jim Baum, the best of the rest, in 11th, and Nismo, Mikael, Hetharian, Sula, Dr. Stones, and damn it, I missed the last 3 names. Doesn't matter, because now we are on the grid, and we have 18 cars, I believe, ready for action here.
Yes, rolling start. We're coming down towards the formation point, which is actually just after the last corner, such as the length of the start-finish straight and the actual position of the start-finish line. I've had to make the formation point relatively late on in the lap, and the acceleration zone pretty short, because yeah, it'll be really hard to monitor overtaking otherwise. Fizzy, you want to take the start?
Sure, we're about to get action underway here as Nova puts his foot down in just a moment. He should, well, before the line he has to go, and now he's gone. Nova out in the lead here, ahead of Mangator, who's slotted straight in behind in the slipstream. He's been pressured out by his teammate Papan. And Jeff as well, trying to go up the inside. Oh, there was very close between the teammates. There's Chav just holding on to fourth. There's slight bit of contact with the back of Papan there as well. And there's still side by side with Jeff actually taking him.
Oh dear! Hideaki's just gone off onto the gravel. He got squeezed. He was in the middle of a three-way jostle through that turn 3 that I think he might have damage.
That would be
He's
a shame
all over
to
the
get
place.
damaged so early on, as Brander is side by side with a Jim Baum there, who's also changed his livery slightly from last week, and there's a bit of contact there, being forced out wide is the tire, and looks like Jim Baum lost the back end and ended up with some contact with Nismo there as well, who managed to get through though, so it's actually worked out well for Nismo, despite it being slowed down a little bit through the corner. And super close pack here from 8th place down. Mikal taking advantage of that with Brander dropping to 11th. Coming through the very, very tricky Aqua Minerali section here. And so far there's been a few bits of wheel banging, a few bits of well, one or two drivers slightly in the gravel, but I don't think there's been too many major collisions, Sharky.
Oh, just as you say that, Branderus has gone and made contact with Mikal hopping over the chicane. I think he just got on the brakes a little bit too late for the SLS and basically turned to the inside. He managed to avoid the Ginetto of Jim Baum in front of him, but he made contact with Mikal as he locked up the rear of the car.
Oh, he's gone wide again.
Around the outside, but that hasn't quite worked for him. He's gone and run deep and into the gravel. Again, probably underestimating the or expecting too much from the brakes of the SLS, shall I say, not underestimating them, as they are
we have
pretty weak.
three 2 wides there going down the straight towards the back of the field. Oh my god, Branderus pulling, he's trying to pull ahead of the Z4. There we got Stones on the inside of Atharion coming into turn 1. We got a car off the track there. Who's that, Yorkie? So there's a car off the track in the gravel, at least on my screen.
I can't see one.
Okay, that's fair enough. Thought I saw a Z4 in the gravel, but hopefully that was not the case, as we have all filed into 1-by-1 formation now through the chicanes to start a lap. So close racing. Back here, Hideaki is in 14th. I think he's dropped quite a far down because of his earlier off-track excursion. And yeah, let's have a quick look back at the front. Nova still holding on ahead of Mangator, and then there's a gap down to Jeff, was now past Papan here.
Yep, he managed to get past Papan in the first chicane of the first lap.
Oh, really?
There was a little bit of squeeze. Yeah, that was the squeeze that we saw between the two teammates, and they swapped positions. I think Papan took a slight knock from one of the Z4s behind. I'm not too sure whether it was Jaff or Enzo earlier on, just as that moment happened, but was able to hold on to the position. Chaff was actually looking a little bit closer to the back of Papan than he is now, but has dropped back slightly by a car length or so over the course of the lap. And yeah, Enzo is pretty close in pursuit. Nismo is 8. Nova is, of course, up in first and has got Mangator for pretty close company.
Yeah, very close company. Mangator was trying to close the gap into turn 1 there, but just didn't have enough straight-on speed in that car. So Nova's holding on for now, but the gap is very, very close. And like what can be said for the gap between 2nd and 3rd, which is already up to, I don't know, like 5 seconds already. It's really spread out. The top 2 have really pulled away from everyone else, as there was a bit of side-by-side through the chicane there, with Papanda, I believe, holding off Charv just about still. And then so almost pushing the pair around the corner. So this group of 4 drivers now pulling away from Nismo a little bit, and Claessens has passed Jim Baum for 8th position. Mikal kind of by himself, and side by side Hideaki on the side of the new boy Vernox in that BMW M3. And who's gonna get the better run here? Vernox pulls ahead of or is he? It says for me Hideaki.
No, Vernox is in 14th.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it's Dr. Stones in the M3. Yeah, Vernox is in the
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Z4,
Sorry, yeah.
just behind the two battling drivers there. Quick correction as well. Claessen's had dropped down to just in front of Jim Bound. He lost the position as he ran across the gravel through turns 1, 2 and 3, that first chicane, and got a slow down penalty, so he lost the position there.
Right.
Otherwise, he was pretty close to the battle with Papan, Jeff, and those guys who are there running around in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th position.
Yeah, I'm glad you're keeping an eye on what happens to correct everything I say wrong. But I swear I still saw a Z4 in the gravel for me. Yeah, that's apparently me sitting there in the gravel, according to my game. So that's fun. Let's get chilling out. But yeah, Nova really being pressured by Mangator so far. He's not really tried to go for a move. Maybe hasn't been able to get close enough, or just sitting back and chilling for a bit. He's probably, even though Mangator has been used to leading races this season, he's probably happy for now to just sit back and see the gap to the cars behind increase, as the 4 cars behind still very, very close together.
Yeah, and that gap is increasing as well. Went up by about 1.7, 1.8 seconds on the previous lap. So quite a big, substantial pace difference between these two front runners and the guys behind. Guys taking the curves very, very aggressively, and then using the AstroTurf on the exit there as well. Running over the white lines a little bit in places, but the Aston Martin should have the straight line advantage over the roof, but the roof is no slouch when it comes to top end speed either, so being this close to the back of Nova in front of him, Mangator should be able to keep pace, especially down this long straight, and may actually potentially get close enough if the slipstream is strong enough to give him an opportunity coming into the first chicane. But it looks like that Nova does have the legs over Mangator at the moment, is going to hold on to that when they come into the braking zone, providing there are no dramas for Nova coming through these 3 sequence of turns.
Yep, we've seen Mangator, I swear on some of the previous laps it's been even closer than that going down the main straight, so the slipstream effect doesn't seem too massive behind that Aston Martin at the moment. The only Aston Martin on the grid here today, with Dindus and Kaki missing, of course. And certainly it's doing doing a good job, is that car around here.
Opportunity for him to make the move into turn 1. Papan's.
Yeah, Charf is nearly side by side with Enzo. He got into turn 1, but he did manage to cover the inside line nicely there. And it did look like he got a better run than Jeff out of the corner. Yeah, Papan has gone past Jeff for 3rd. And Charf, is he being put under pressure from Enzo now? It's side by side through the chicane, and Charf holds on just about, unless Enzo's going to try to hold it on the other side of the exit, and the inside into the very slow speed left-hander, going to be side by side still. Definitely not carrying too much speed when they're going like this, but oh, Enzo really wants to get his move done. Slight touch with the doors there as well, and Enzo still will have the inside for the next corner. This is where he could get the job done if he nails it like he should. And there we go. Chart 4 slightly wide, and Enzo has got the position.
That was very, very good battling there between the two drivers. Very, very fair. Both of them obviously very close to each other, putting in an awful lot of trust with the other driver, but giving each other just about enough room that either driver needed just to be there to try and make the move stick. So very good pass by Enzo. And good stuff by Chaff for trying to basically hold the position and trying to battle it out. It has cost them a couple of car lengths to Jeff in front of them. And then Enzo's teammate Nismo is coming up behind, and Claessen's is recovering a little bit and starting to close up back again. But Chaff is looking pretty close to the back of Enzo, and may potentially be able to pick up a decent slipstream coming down this start-finish straight here and try and make a move into turn 1.
Yep. I was looking from the front bumper of Mangator, and he wasn't really pulling in any time at all in the straight in the slipstream of Nova. As now, yeah, he goes up the inside. Charf, oh, he's gonna be on the other side as he was last lap. Can he pull this one off? As we got F1 sounds in my ear because I forgot to turn off the Twitch alerts for new followers, so thanks to whoever followed my channel. There we go. That was a good defensive driving from Enzo to hold Charf off there, and he actually managed to pull a couple of car lengths on the exit out of the corner as well. So good job from Enzo. And Nismo, though, through this battling is, I feel like it's closing in ever so slightly, and Claessens and Jim Boom also following behind. Jim Baum doing a good job in that Ginetta, to be fair. It's been said again, just like last week in the rain, that the Ginetta isn't too good around this track, but Jim Baum holding on to this group. So, same with Claesen, of course, in 8th as well.
Past all.
Yeah, Claessens has managed to get past Nismo somehow, I assume, down the main straight, because he was, they were very close coming into the first corner there, so Claessens up to 7th ahead of Nismo there. And yeah, it looks like Nismo was trying to fight back through the first chicane, but was unable to do so.
Oh, spin. He looked like...
Oh, it was just as on my camera view. God damn it.
Yeah, it looked like he was losing the car a little bit through the chicane and took the curb rather awkwardly, and yeah, it just kind of... the car just lazily spun back on him and into the other direction and into the gravel, so he's now lost the position to Brandurus, and it's between him and Mikau in 10th place.
Yep. Of course, Sharp will get a slight slipstream sitting right behind like this, so they might well be very close coming into the first corner. Is Enzo going to go defensive here? Yes, he is. He moves over to the left-hand side. Oh, and then he moves back to the right-hand side. He's actually happy to let Sharp have the inside, and he lets him go on the brakes. I'm quite surprised he didn't defend that harder, to be honest, unless he feels like, from the previous experience of battling Sharp, that they were just losing too much time to the 2 cars ahead, and maybe it was a tactical choice not to battle him too hard then, and hope that he would, maybe he can now pull them back to the roughs.
Yeah, that's what my thinking would have been if I was probably in Enzo's position. I'm not too sure if the gap between Enzo and Jeff is closing, but with the faster driver behind constantly hustling you, it is, especially in this kind of situation when you're still fairly early on in the race and you've got a number of laps to go, it's better to just let the driver behind take the position without losing too much time, and then use them to close up and potentially gain that position back through another driver and then battle on later. Although having said that, Chaff did just run wide there, going through the pretty tricky second gear right hand, and now coming up into the chicane, where Chaff has been looking a little bit quicker than Enzo had coming up towards that, but obviously this time around Chaff's in 5th and Enzo is in 6th.
We started with 36 laps, we're down to 26 laps now, so we are 10 laps through the race. And yeah, Nova has obviously a long way to go, but so far he's done a perfect job to keep Mangator the championship leader in check and behind him. And of course, if Nova were to win this race, that would be the 4th different winner in the first 5 races, and the 8th different winner in the last 9, if I'm correct. So, actually, a nice run at the moment of different winners in this league.
Yep, you get those stats from Brownski.
Yeah, well, at least well, going into last week, we had 7 different in 7, according to Brownski. So yes, if you're there, Brownski, thanks for that. But of course, Mangator ruined that streak last week with his his 2nd win of the season.
Yep. So yeah, it'll be good to see Nova get this one as Mangator actually goes a little bit deep there coming through. That's going to cost him. He's going to be dropping further back than we have seen him so far. Coming down this start-finish straight now to begin lap 11. Nismo's getting pretty close to the back of Brandurus, but in doing so has actually gone and lost a load of momentum, and now E-Class is actually coming at him, coming up the hill and now into the fast left-hander. E-Class is on the inside, Nismo giving him room, but I think Nismo's managed to hang it around the outside and may have been a slight tap there between the two. Now E-Class is trying to go around the outside here. That's going to be pretty brave and difficult to do. Nismo managing to hold on to position for the moment with that inside line. Again, it looks like E-Class is getting the momentum coming out of the corners. He's able to challenge again, but not this time coming up the hill and into the chicane. It's actually dropped back a little bit as well.
A lot of time.
Yes, he is actually pretty slow there through those 2 right-handers.
Yeah, doesn't like that. Oh my god, we have the midfield lead. We've had the midfield lead. That's annoying. Now we missed that one. And they're coming out of the first chicane, so I can only assume that Mangator has finally gotten past him on the straight, or Nova, as they ran slightly wide somewhere, and lets him go through. So Mangator into the leader. This is when it'll be interesting to see if Nova can actually keep up with him, or if Mangator actually had the pace all the way, all along, and was just taking it easy behind him. We'll follow Nova through this lap to see how well he's able to keep up here. So go on board with his front bumper as well, just to see if the gap does increase. Go on, York, if you were saying something.
I just had a horrible moment of lag and then just a deafening silence, so I thought I may have dropped.
Oh,
But oh god, more lag now. Nova had lost almost 2 seconds on the previous lap. To Mangator. Mangator did a 42.09 and yeah, Nova did a 43.7, so 1.7 seconds down, although it looks like he's closing initially there through the hairpin, but the cars are starting to lag for me with my rather poor internet connection.
That is a shame. Let's hope you are able to stay in the lobby at least. And Nova certainly, though, is not letting Mangator go here. He has the pace to keep up with him based on this lap so far, and is close behind on the straight. Let's see from his front bumper view if he can close in, and he does start already. They're not even halfway down the straight, and look at the speed that Aston Martin is closing here. He's going to be side by side down and already flying past before the brake is on a turn 1. Nova back into the lead of this race. I think we're going to have a fantastic battle if this carries on. And yeah, fantastic to see these guys so close. And Nova stepping up to the plate to challenge. Mangator has been looking so good this season. Nova's had some bad luck, it must be said. He got hit off early in both Spa and Road America. Can't exactly remember what happened to him at Bathurst, but or Bathurst, but yeah, certainly now he's really stepping up here in Imola. Really good to see for him.
Yep, yeah, he's straight back on the pace as well. His previous lap was a 140.9, so second quicker actually than Mangator's lap was on the previous lap. So Nova obviously clearly having a mistake earlier on, and that was what made those two swap positions, but Nova certainly seems to have a lower downforce setup than Mangator does, and was able to take that with the Aston Martin straight line speed and the slipstream to just catapult him past quite easily before turn 1. So I'm just going to quickly jump back to Papan, who's now kind of running a lonely race. Chaff is now up into 4th. He's managed to now get past Jeff, and now that means that Enzo is right on the back of Jeff. So the plan that I spoke about earlier of letting the faster driver go and using them to catch the driver in front has kind of worked in that sense, but Enzo actually looks like he's got a fair bit of damage to the front left of his Z4 there.
Yeah, you're right when you
that.
pointed out. Yeah, he's got definitely some damage on the front left. I'm not sure how much that will hamper him, of course. He seems to be dropping slightly away from these guys. Actually, as Jeff is trying to challenge Sharp back here on the outside, coming into the first chicane. Sharp looks to have that covered off. Jeff trying to hold it around the outside, and he's lost it. Jeff has lost it onto the grass or gravel. I couldn't quite see what it was of the track there. But that is several seconds down the drain for Jeff, and of course Enzo has gone through as a result, and Choff's even lost time. Enzo's going to try to get past him as well, and round the outside of the second chicane goes Enzo to get up to 4th. At the moment, it looked like Enzo was starting to drop back from the both of them. Suddenly, he found himself ahead.
Yep, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Always let the faster driver go through. Use them to catch the person in front of you. I think he got a little bit lucky with the battle in between Shaf and Jeff. Obviously, those two going into turn 1 side by side, they would have both had to slow down a little bit more, which would have allowed Enzo, with the space that he had between them initially, to carry his momentum through and close that gap up, and he probably got an absolutely almighty run on Jeff coming out of it. Obviously Jeff spun out off to the side of the track. Managed to avoid the wall though, so that was good by him for Jeff to collect that back up relatively quickly, despite losing obviously the position and losing out on potentially gaining position. He hasn't lost any more. Jim Barham is still quite far back, who has Brandress not too far behind him, and then Enzo's teammate with Nismo not too far back, and yeah, Hideaki's chasing after Mikau, and Clarkson's chasing after Hideaki, and then Vernux debutant is in 13th place, not too far behind Clarson's, with Hathorion in 14th, with Mr. Alcon in 15th, and then
Way
Dr. Stones in 16th.
Yeah.
Sula
We
in
gap
17th.
down to Mr. Alcon from the car ahead, but at least Mr. Alcon's got Dr. Stones for close company behind, so those fighting for the final 2 points positions, and Sula, unfortunately, not a great day for him again. He's been lapped from what I can see.
Chaff is trying to go around the outside of Nismo.
Oh, and
he's got it
done
done.
it, unless he's running too wide here. No, it doesn't. We've seen them go side by side through this corner before, but this time Charf has got enough of his car ahead.
Nismo might have a good run coming out of the hairpin though. Although actually no, it doesn't look like it quite. Sorry, Enzo didn't quite get the drive out of the corner. I keep getting the 2 mixed up because obviously they're in the same livery all the time. Enzo, Nismo.
Yeah.
They both end in Zo. It's fairly similar names. We will get them right at some point. Yeah. So I apologise.
Many similarities. Same livery, same car, nearly same name. Both came up from the Pro League from last season after doing well there. So, who's off there? Oh, I saw a car off there. Was that?
Who?
Well, I think that might have been Sula. Yeah, that's Sula off the track. He's a lap down, of course, but he definitely had a big problem at the chicane. Shame to see that he's not having a good day. But as we saw last time in Open Park, if you just stay in the lobby, even if you're a lap down, you could get lucky with other cars retiring. And look at the gap that Nova's got at the front. He's pulled a couple of seconds on Mangator since passing him back. Wow.
Yeah, consistently the last 2 laps he's been about half a second quicker than Mangator has. So very, very good strong pace by Nova at the moment.
Jeff now started to become slightly lonely back in 6th position after being very close with a few cars and nearly losing the car, and he's lost the car completely, and he's in the middle of the racing line. Luckily managed to react quickly and get that car moving again before any other car came around, but now he's going to be right in front of Jim Baum, yeah, in that lead Ginetta car right now. Well, the only Ginetta remaining that is running in a solid position, and is gaining a lot of time through the chicane as well. Might have a run going down into the final couple of corners. So yeah, Jeff has made now a couple of mistakes, which is same for him after some very consistent good results so far this season, but now he might be under pressure from a Ginetta. He paid off with that choice. Are you looking at Mikhail by any chance?
Yes,
yep.
Mikhail and Hideaki watching that battle now. I was just watching as Hideaki was closing, and then it came to the first chicane, and Mikhail seemed to miss an apex here or there, and Hideaki had closed up quite significantly on the rear of his cars, looking to the outside, coming into the hairpin. He's going to try and make a little bit of a switchback, try and get the drive coming off the corner, but I think the roof will have the straight line advantage coming up the hill. So Hideaki for the moment is probably going to have to slot in behind Mikhail and just follow him through for a couple of corners until the next time that either Mikhail has a slight mistake or Hideaki is able to get an absolutely monster drive out of the corner, potentially out of here up towards the chicane, and try and make a move. But I don't think he's close enough this time, Fizzy.
Yeah, he was really hard on the inside curve there, coming up the hill, but didn't manage to get close enough, and he's riding the curve a lot more than Mikhail, it must be said, and I think he's gained a tiny bit of time in the exit as a result of it. He might be able to have a run coming down the hill here. That's Mikhail. That's got that car is quite bumpy down towards the braking zone. And we have 2 slow left-handers. Mikhail, oh, he's lost it! Oh, don't make contact with the wall. He's just avoided the wall there. Luckily for him, he can carry on with no damage, but that has dropped him out of the top 10 again. Hideaki gaining a position, and actually, while these guys have been battling, Jim Baum has made a move on Jeff for P6.
Yes.
Oh, that's annoying. Why can't people just wait with their moves till we're looking at them? And of course, Nova pulling a gap. He's got around 5+ seconds on Mangator now. It's incredible the pace that he's showing at the moment. We're over halfway through the race, in obviously quite far past it now. We started with 36 laps. We are now 13 laps from the end, so it's really flown by, hasn't it? Even though the cars have really started spacing out now, we've of course had a lot of battling so far in the race.
But yeah, he's got good pace. It's obviously very close to these guys. Actually closing up on the back of Jeff as well, coming down towards turn 1. Jeff obviously closing up on Jim Baum in front of him in the Ginetta, and was able to follow him quite nicely. through the chicane. And Jim, yeah, like you're saying, handling the pressure pretty good at the moment. Hopefully he doesn't make a mistake and we'll see some nice defensive driving from him as Jeff is looking to the inside.
He went for it. He's forced Jim Bound to take it slightly wider line there. He's maybe scared him out wide a little bit just by putting his cars right up there. And look at the run he's got as well despite that tighter line. Up the inside now with the next corner, but Jim Bound breaking a lot later to hold it around the outside. Oh my god, that is fantastic. Job from Jim Bound to actually keep hold of that. I have no idea how he managed to do that, considering Jeff was on the inside and his car ahead before coming into that corner, but Jim Bound still somehow in P6, and this is shaping up to be a really good battle. Brandreth looked like he lost the back end slightly coming up the hill there, but still in contention very much so, as Jeff now trying to force a mistake again through the chicane. And now coming down the hill over the bumps into the last couple of corners. Wow, this I hope these guys stay like this for the rest of the race, because as you say, the guys above them in the race right now have spread out a bit too much for our liking.
Yep, this is a good battle between the drivers. I think Jeff may have braked a little bit too early for the corner earlier on when Jim went around the outside of him, but now Brandreth has got the run with the slipstream that he needs, and will be picking up the slipstream of the Ginetto as he moved over to the right there as well, trying to go around the outside of the roof, but he's going to have to brake a little bit earlier, but he's managed to get the move done very nicely on the brakes there, getting the SLS slowed down, and he's now popped himself up into 7th position. Now it's Brandreth's turn to see if he can try and close up on Jim in front of him, and Jeff is going to have to push relatively hard to hold on to the back of these two guys.
Down towards Rivazza, apparently, is what these couple of corners are called, as Brandreth is slightly on the gravel. That has allowed Jeff up the inside of the final corner. Brandreth forced to take a wider line through there as a result, and Jeff back up through, but it might not be the end of the world for Brandreth, because we saw the straight line speed of the SLS on the previous lap, and well, he might not get him on this occasion, but we know that if he can stay close behind, he will have a slight straight line advantage in that Mercedes. So he might well get that position back. But at the moment, Jeff up back to 7th. Actually, what is happening at the front? What is happening at the front? I saw a gap. Oh! Nova must have made a mistake, because we're right back where we were in the first 10 laps.
47.3 on the previous lap. Mangates was a 41.6, so he's lost 5 seconds. Yeah, 5 and a bit seconds to Mangator, so that must have been a half spin somewhere along the line, and now we've got a battle for the lead again in the final.
Now we've got a battle laps. Yeah, unless Nova can show the pace as he's done in the last few laps, but might have been slightly concerned if he's made a mistake. And I did look slightly wiggly as well into the braking zone for the first corner there. We saw Mangator pass him earlier on, but after that we saw Nova with some incredible pace, and Mangator nearly looking up the inside into the second chicane there, and now pushing him very, very close indeed. Can you see any damage on Nova's car? I don't think I can see any.
No.
And same with Mangator's. It should be a straight fight in terms of damage, and Nova running wide out of the hairpin here, and Mangator's going to have the inside line. We saw Jim Boom defend the outside here very well earlier on in the race from Jeff, but can Nova do the same in the battle for the lead? Yes, he can. He breaks later and has that position, Yorkie. But wow, this is lovely stuff to see. We obviously, hopefully, we know that Mangator unfortunately doesn't have a microphone, so we can't get him into the interview booth afterwards. But we definitely have to get Nova in to sort of explain what happened to him, and of course how he is now going to be handling these last 7 laps of pressure from the championship leader.
Yep, I'm guessing tyres, obviously with the pace that he was showing earlier, he may be pushing the car very, very hard. Going through the first couple of chicanes, he was shy of the apex upon initial entry on both of those, and seems to be struggling with general turning. There's obviously, he ran very wide on the exit of the hairpin, which allowed Mangator to get up alongside that we saw. So my guess is that the front tyres have started to go, but Mangator was very, very close coming out the exit of the final turn there onto the start-finish straight. We've seen the straight line speed that Nova has had in previous laps, and once again we're just seeing Mangator drop back. However, it'll be interesting when we come to the braking zone as Nova is flashing his lights as Mr. Alcon there was a lap down. Fortunately, he gets well out of the way before the yep. well out the way before the braking zone for the first turn, so it's not going to interfere with this battle in any way. So good stuff by Mr. Alcon. But again, Nova there, shy of the apex, which just allows Mangator to close back up onto the rear of his car. Hopefully he can get it tucked in quite nicely coming into this hairpin, or is he going to run out wide again? He's going to run out wide again! It's going to be a repeat of the previous lap, Fizzy.
Oh,
Almost.
not quite as close as it was on the previous lap, Mangator, but wow. Yeah, Nova seems to be struggling with that hairpin at the moment. And again running slightly wide hair, but so does Mangator. So neither of them losing or gaining any relative to each other there. You could see earlier in the lap as well when I was riding on board with the bumper of Mangator that the sun is starting to come down just a little bit. As Nova's had a poor exit again. No, he's really defending the inside though into the chicane. You cannot go too wide here, and Nova's probably made the wise decision. He's got to be very careful on the brakes when he's got that tight line, because he has to slow down even more than he does on the racing line. But he's basically just forced Mangator to stay back, because there was no way for him to get around there. And yeah, Nova really seems to be under pressure now after all those laps of good pace. Might have been slightly flustered, but whatever mistake he's made there. And he's got, well, 5 more laps now to try and hold Mangator off. It's going to be really close, although he's actually gained a couple of car lengths now onto the straight. But as we've seen earlier on, the Aston Martin doesn't let itself be caught on the straight, regardless of how close Mangator is.
Yep, and I'll just jump back to the battle that we were watching earlier for 6th position with Jeff Brandress and Jim Bown. Brandress has pulled away from Jeff to hold on to that 7th place.
He passed him actually, I think, since we last looked at them. That's where Jeff was there.
Where is Mikhail going? Oh, that's a little bit interesting. Has he moved out of the way? Yeah, he has moved out of the way. Okay, that's fine. I did see Nova flash his lights earlier on, and then the camera cut, and Mikhail was running deep through the chicane and over the gravel. But fortunately, he was able to get well out the way of the 2 drivers to the inside.
Yeah, he must have had some kind of mistake then, Mikhail, because he was in the top 10 earlier, I believe, just on the edge of the top 10, or maybe 11th. So something's not gone quite right for Mikhail. But at least he's still running on for a few points as we look back up on the battle for the lead.
Mangator is getting very, very close. He's getting a really good drive coming out of that second gear right-hander, coming up the hill towards the chicane here.
Oh, look at how Nova's jumping over the curbs! Those sausage baguettes on the inside, he's absolutely riding them, and it doesn't seem to have helped, because Mangator is... They're pushing him down the hill there!
Yep, he's very, very close. It's going to be a little bit tricky coming in the braking zone. Both of them hooking up the inside of the curb though, and then the exit. Mangator, he wants to try and get as close as possible coming through this section here, to stay underneath the rear wing of the Aston Martin in front of him. Yep,
look at this though! He's losing time in the slipstream!
Yep, that's the straight line speed that Nova has. But if Mangator can stay close enough here, through especially these first couple of turns, as you can see, he's closing up massively coming into the braking zone as Nova's trying to get it slowed down to make sure that he actually gets it turned into the corners. But you can see that the grip that Mangator has over Nova, as Nova is now going very defensive, with Mangator having to have a look to the outside coming into the chicane, trying to do a little bit of a switchback coming through, which should line him up a little bit for this hairpin here, but he's trying to go around the outside. We've seen Nova understeer here a couple of times. Mangator now trying to go for
he's hit him! Oh no!
Nova's in the wall! That is disastrous for Nova there. Contact between the 2 drivers. I'm not too sure who was entirely at fault there, as Nova was obviously trying to defend very, very hard.
And he's got major damage. I think Nova's got major damage.
He's going to lose the position to Papan, I think. There's actually there's a little bit of contact there between the 2 drivers, and he has dropped down into 3rd position through all of that. So that's going to provide major frustration for Nova in these last few laps.
Oh, it's a shame. As it's destroyed the battle for the lead, Mangator has decided to carry on, so he doesn't feel at fault for that. For me, though, it did look like Mangator was trying to go for the cutback after going very wide in the entry. Whereas Nova's car was just sitting in the middle of the track, and I don't know, maybe Mangator expected Nova to go wider on the exit for him to be able to get through, but as it turned out, Mangator just hit him in the back while trying to cut underneath, actually losing a lot of time. Charf is only a few more seconds behind, so Nova might just drop out of the podium positions there. He's got 3 laps to try and hold on with this damage now. And Charf can see him. They've got a lapped car between them.
Oh, that's going to be a half spin. I think, yeah, that damage is huge. It did look like
Yep.
he was crabbing slightly coming along the start-finish straight. And coming into the first turn, you could just see he was just wiggling under braking and having to fight the car, as obviously steering alignment is probably well out of whack.
Yeah. Seeing someone in the chat saying that it looked like Nova was starting to spin even before the contact, which might have been the case. It obviously these things happen very quickly, and we don't have any replays to show them, unfortunately. So we'll just have to take it on our first reaction. But yeah, it might well have been the case. It'll be interesting to see what Nova says after the race. We will hopefully get him in for an interview here to see what his versions of that was. But yeah, he's now unfortunately off the podium after doing well for so long in the race. Championship leader Mangator on for his 3rd win of the season. Enzo a few further seconds behind, might be eyeing Nova as well. Whether he knows that Nova's got damage or not, we do not know. What can we say? I think that's sort of ended the race pretty much. The only thing we have to look out for really is, well, unless Nismo...
Oh, Nova's in the gravel again!
Yeah, there we go. I was going to say...
Turn 1.
I was going to say, what we need to look out for is whether Nova gets past, or caught by Enzo, and there we go.
It does.
That mistake has done it. Papand's not far behind, actually. There's only like 3 seconds between them. So clearly that incident did also slow Mangator down.
He may have some damage to the front of his car, possibly. Let's have a look at the lap times. Over a second, Papan was quicker on the previous lap. And Mangator. So Mangator may have had a mistake somewhere along the line. Papan did a 42-1? 43-1, sorry. And Mangator did a 44-2. But even Chaff behind him did a 42-1, so that's a second quicker than Papan was. But I think we're going to run out of time, unfortunately, with this one, Fizzy, as Mangator is just coming down to the last couple of turns now on this final lap.
You could just see Papan in the background there of the shot when Mangator now into the final couple of corners. He's only got one straight left to navigate, unless he runs wide here or gets disconnected in his final few seconds. But it doesn't look like he will. So STL Mangator wins for the 3rd time this season out of the 5 rounds we've had. After a great battle with Noah, which unfortunately ended in some contact, and then Papan flashing his lights, happy with 2nd place. Charf gets 3rd, which is good for his championship charge. And Enzo will be the next man to come across. 4th place for him. Had a good battle with Charf earlier on, but ended up dropping off. But still, as a result of Nova's struggles, he gets that 4th position that they were battling for anyway. And you can see Nova just doing enough. You can see Jim Baum coming through the final corner back there. But luckily for Nova, time is out, so he will get 5th at least. Obviously, he would have wanted to win today. Great pace from him all the race long. But he made that mistake, brought Mangator back into play. And unfortunately, it ended in tears for him. Jim Baum, very good result in 6th. Then Sesame Collins is A7. That's definitely not correct,
F.
because that will be Jeff.
Yep, and then Branderous. So those two have swapped positions in the last couple of laps.
And show up with them. Hideaki then will be in 9th, I believe.
Nope,
no,
Nismo.
So they've swapped as well. What's happened?
Hideaki 10th. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Hideaki 10th. Yep. Another swap there.
Then we have the next man. That is the debutant, Vernux, who comes across in 11th place, just missing out on the top 10. And then I believe we will have a Tharion, actually, who is coming across the line and now to take 12th position in the race. And then everyone behind him will have been lapped once or twice. Mikhail a lap down, Dr. Stones a lap down, Mr. Alcon 2 laps down. So that's it. Yorkie, we had Claessens, and Sula, of course, unfortunately retiring from the race as well. But Mangator is back on top after Nova's misfortunes. The season is far from over, because not next week actually, next time, because we have a 1 week sort of Christmas holiday break. So in 2 weeks' time, we're gonna be at the incredible, almighty, godlike Turkey that is the Nordschleife.
Yep. I'm really looking forward to that one as well. It's going to be a dry race, so the guys don't have too much to worry about there, but it should be a pretty fun and interesting one that will certainly challenge the drivers
But I think that's it for us for, and now we got 3 rounds to go in the season. My Gator has got his hands well and truly planted on the championship trophy, but at the moment, Charf is still not out of it. He will be trying to push him in the final 3 rounds. Yorkie, any final words?
Other than thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you'll have a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy it with friends and family, and we'll see you on the other side. Other than that, yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
That is it. So yeah, as Yorkie said, very Merry Christmas to all of you. We thank you very much for watching the stream, and we hope you'll be back with us for the final 3 rounds of the season when we kick off in 2 weeks' time. So until then, guys, have a good time and good night.
Goodbye. Thank you.